guys, what is up? Welcome back to Laughs and Troubles,
Hey, guys.
episode
17.
17. Welcome, you guys. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
How was your weekend, sister?
My weekend was pretty good. I mean, I worked. This is the weekend, right? Still, so
Yeah.
worked and relaxed. That's what I would.
I deep cleaned. I started deep cleaning, and I'm still not done. I have been putting in work.
Deep cleaning and organizing is tedious.
Oh my god!
For sure.
I all I know is that I've been like, Lucas will grab something, but I'm like, where does that go? That doesn't go there.
Put it away.
Yes, put it away. Put it in the trash. I don't
Mhm.
care. Put it somewhere, but not there. I was so tired of like everything felt like, I don't know. I was starting to feel claustrophobic,
Yeah.
and like there was just, I'm tired of it.
I love getting rid of, even if it's just like one or two things. Like, oh, this shirt don't fit no more. Good, donation pile. Like, I
Yeah.
feel good.
Yeah.
Even though it's one T-shirt, I feel like my house is lighter.
Yeah. I've been definitely getting rid of stuff. I got rid of a lot of things that I just don't like. This is my thing. You don't see it, you don't need it. So I haven't seen it, and I haven't worn it, and I haven't even thought about it. I was like, it's going. I'm not keeping it no more.
I hate that. Like, I'll put something in my closet. I'm like, it's nice. I like it. I think I'll use it. But 5 years later, I still haven't used it. And
Yeah.
it's like, you know what? Just, if you haven't used it, donate it or get rid of it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So, besides that, I think I did the same. I stayed home and just chilled. I really needed to like relax. I had a crazy week last week, so I was just like, my body was done.
Yeah. That's how I felt. I had a lot of running around and extra work days. So today, before filming, I was just kind of catching up on TV shows and whatnot. Living my best life.
Hey, speaking of TV shows, I watched the stand-up of Joe Coy yesterday because I love him. I freaking
He's that
love
Asian
him.
comedian, right?
Yes,
Yep.
yes. He's Filipino.
Okay.
Filipino and white, and I love him. And it's crazy because he had a really good like topic. He was talking about like kids these days, how like we've made everything easy for them and stuff now. Like back in the day, if you were out with your friends and it was late at night and you're like, oh, come pick me up. Oh, I'm not going out now. It's late.
It's too
I'm
late.
not driving at nighttime. I can't see at night or whatever. And he's like, and then your mom's like, oh, his mom's telling him to go home and run home. And he's like running, and then he sees a car with no lights. He's like, ah! He's like running because he's scared.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like, they have Uber now. He's like, we didn't fucking have Uber back in the day.
It's
like now
true.
they want to get somewhere. It's like, oh, Uber, and we have the app. They have an app. Like he goes, everything's on an app, and it's the wrong app. They don't know what an application is. They think applications are apps that are on the phone. Like they will never know the struggle of like, like to find a job, for instance. Like now they just go on an app and they, it'll bring a list of jobs that would be great for them close by, all that stuff. He's like, back then, he's like, I had to go to the mall and go to some like, hi, are you guys hiring? Can I get an application? And it's true. We had to go to stores. We had to go to McDonald's, the mall, wherever it was to get an application and fill it out and then bring it back. And
so I just went through that with my son, and I go into stores and I send him in to go see if they're applying. They're like, oh, you can apply online. It'll tell you if we are or not. There's like really no paper applications, although he did start his first job on Thursday this week.
Where?
He works at an ice cream shop.
Oh, that's so cute.
But he's not up front selling ice creams. He's in the back.
Okay.
He's lugging 35-pound bags of ice and 40-pound bags of hot dogs and hamburgers, because it's like an ice cream and like food shack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a seasonal thing.
Yeah, from spring to fall.
Oh, that is so
And I was
cute.
so shocked because I went to go get an ice cream and a milkshake, and he asked the girl, and she goes, yeah, and she rips out a piece of paper, just a generic application, and she's like, here you go. And I think he was so shocked he didn't know what to do with it, because he's used to just going online and typing.
Oh my god.
He's like, how do
funny.
I sign my name?
It's funny that he was talking about that. He was just like, Uber Eats, and he's like dying. He's like, fucking Uber Eats. He goes, you know what my mom said? There's something in the fridge if you're hungry. Because he'd be like, oh, there's nothing here, and your son is like, oh, can you get Uber Eats? And you're like, yeah, sure. And he's over here getting dinner, something that we would consider dinner, like he's like Cheesecake Factory,
Yeah.
and whatever. He's like, they're entitled. And he's like, me and my mom would be like, look in the fridge. There's something in there. There's something in there. And he's like, and all there was left was like a piece of cheese. And he was like, it was all crusted on the edges. And she's like, you just cut it off. Look at perfect circle and ketchup for
or
seasoning.
you snooze, you lose. You know what? If you weren't here to eat during supper time, you eat leftovers or whatever's in the fridge. You're not getting Uber Eats or DoorDash.
Mm-hmm. So kids now get Uber Eats, DoorDash. Like, they have it easy. And he talked about parents. He's like, he don't know where we went wrong, or our parents that we're like that now. Yeah, but we're so like, we don't let these kids learn. We're so like, oh my God, everything has to be fucking fixed for them. And it's funny because I always talk about this all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, we want everything to be easy. And he's like, they have it so easy that they would never be able to survive alone. He goes, his son is 20 years old and he's still not ready to go out there and live on his own and do things because he's like, we've done it wrong.
Some parents, because none of my kids get DoorDash or Uber Eats. You eat what's in the house. If we are getting takeout, we're getting takeout altogether. We're not spending all the extra fees of DoorDash and taxes and tips and all that. No. We're going to Big Y. I'm going to make something. You're going to eat it.
So in my house, we have done DoorDash. We did it more during the pandemic.
Yeah, that's when it got really big.
Yeah. But what's funny is I was using it before that because, I love my wings, and every Friday I was like, but before DoorDash, it was called Delivery Express.
Oh, I remember. You used to get pizza from there.
Everything. Yeah. I used to fucking order whatever I wanted from them.
I do remember that.
So yeah, I used to order from there, and then, my son, he works and he has his job, so he doesn't really order that much, but there's times where he'll be like, I'm going to get DoorDash or whatever. Do you want anything? I'm like, no.
Well, at least he asks.
Yeah.
That's polite of him. There's probably some rude-ass kids of like, I don't got money to pay for your DoorDash. I'm just going to order myself something, not for my siblings or my parents.
Yeah, well, the thing is that let's say, if I wanted something, he'll pay for mine. But, like, if the other kids wanted something, then obviously I would help him because that's too much for him to pay for everyone,
I get that.
But it's true. I feel like, though, my son would survive fine if he was to just move out. I think he'll survive because I don't do that for my kids. I don't make everything like, they need to struggle a little bit. They need to know what a struggle is. They need to go through something where something doesn't go their way.
Right. My kids have always done chores before Brayden got his job. If I'm paying for his cell phone, you're doing the recycling, you're doing the trash, you're helping me with chickens and the animals, so he does good with that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I loved his stand up, and there was like a 12-year-old kid there, and he was talking about like sexual stuff, and people are like, ooh, but he was like, hey, that's not my fault. His mom brought him here. His mom and dad were there. He's like,
yep.
He was like, you learned a lot today, didn't you?
Yeah.
To the kid.
His parents should have known better, especially if you follow this comedian and you've heard his jokes in the past. Not really a place for a 12-year-old.
But it was funny because then he asked the kid, he's like, so, he goes to the mom, he goes, is he a good kid? She's like, yeah, pretty much. He goes, does he clean his room when you ask him to? She's like, no. He looks at the kid, he goes, the next time she asks you to clean your room, you say how many. Don't sit there and be like, oh, tomorrow. And be like, and he goes to the mom, he goes, and if he says tomorrow, you say, when I was pregnant with you and ready to give birth, I didn't say, oh, you know what, I'll just have him tomorrow. Yeah. No, you had to have him right then and there. You went through pain. He ripped your pussy open. Let him know he ripped it open. Like, it was so funny.
That 12-year-old was like, oh, I'll clean my room.
Like, it got pretty gross. But I thought it was so funny. I laughed so hard last night. It was a good show.
I gotta watch it. Was it on Netflix?
Yes, it was on Netflix. It was really good.
So I was reading an article about Celine Dion. We all love Celine Dion. And she has this rare illness that's called stiff person syndrome.
What?
Yes. She has muscle spasms so bad that she's even broken ribs from it. She has muscle spasms sometimes in her throat that she can only speak if she speaks a certain pitch.
Oh my God.
It's kind of like a debilitating disease. She was diagnosed with it in 2022. And like she says, like when her spasms happen in her throat, she feels like she's being strangled.
Oh.
Yeah.
But,
so she has a choice of hang it up, quit singing, and stay home and just sing to yourself in the mirror, or train like an athlete like, you need to just work 3 times harder than the average person to continue on, because she wants to continue singing. Like, this is her career. This is her passion.
So not to interrupt you, but
Mhm.
is all her muscles throughout her body, or just does she feel like it's just in her that certain
So
area?
she mentioned abdominal area in her spine, her ribs, cramps in her hand, and it's like a cramp where she can't unlock it, and it can go on for a while. It's not just like, oh, I have a cramp and then it's gone.
Oh.
Yeah. So she's been trying to take care of herself for 2 years to try to get herself back on stage to perform.
That is so sad.
And I commend her. She's amazing. And if she's ever in the area performing, I definitely would want to go. Because at her age, she could have just been like, okay, I had a great career. I have this illness. I'm going to use this as an excuse to just stay home. It's probably what I would have done. But she wants to keep going. She wants to bring joy, and she wants to share her passion and her gift with everybody. So if there is a concert around here, you better believe that I'm going to support that woman. Yeah.
That is so sad about Celine Dion. That is very sad. She has such a beautiful voice.
Oh, amazing. She's one of the tops.
And the fact that it's a rare
Mm-hmm.
disease is scary.
Man, just the name, stiff person syndrome.
Yeah.
And just imagine a muscle spasm that went on so long in your rib cage area that it broke ribs. Yeah.
That's so sad.
And she's flaquita too. She's a tiny, small frame.
I hope that eventually they find something to help, because, I mean, it kind of makes me think of, like, MS as well.
She is a lot of physical therapy. When I read the article, said that she was doing a lot of physical therapy because she is gearing up. She wants to keep going. Respect her. She's been through a lot. Like, her husband had passed away. I think it was cancer. She's been through a lot.
I suggest she tries dry needling.
Hey.
Because it's been working.
Yeah.
The only thing I do notice with it, here we go into my dry needling and my freaking physical therapy. But it's something I'm going through, so I have to share it with you guys, like, as the stages go. I have noticed that I'm more sensitive to light now. I use, like, eye drops before I come here so that everything is, like, not bothering me. But I start to feel tired. Like, my eyes get really tired. And it's actually a symptom or a side effect of it, like, to feel tired.
I asked you when we first started recording, I was like, my God. I was like, you just can stare right at the camera. I said, I have a hard time. That's why sometimes when you see me on the video, sometimes I'm looking away or I'm looking this way because...
Well, I don't look at the lights. I just look
I
at the
don't either.
lens. I look right straight at the camera.
But I don't either. But I think because I have diabetes, I think for some reason or another, it's affected the way the light hits my eyes, even when I'm driving at night.
Well, that's not diabetes. That's just, we get that from Dad. I have sensitive eyes. I buy these eye drops that's for blue light or in all these lights, so that
cool.
my eyes don't
Well, share with me what that is so I can get it so that I don't always look
yep
stupid on camera.
I use those. I don't use the eye drops all the time, but when I am having a day where I'm like, my eyes are just so sensitive, well, that's why I suffer from migraines a lot. It's my eyes. I even went to the eye doctor and they were like, oh, your eyes look fine. I'm like, but why do I keep getting migraines? Like, something's got to be up.
I suffer from migraines, but maybe it's once a year thing for me.
It used to be for me, but now I guess, like, it's crazy, but I kept getting migraines where I would feel like a tingling going from the back of my head all the way up to the front, and I kept thinking something was wrong. I'm like, oh my God, something's wrong. I had CAT scans done. I even had an MRI done, and they're like, everything looks fine, dude. You don't have, like...
Well, that's good.
Because I was panicking. I'm like, something's wrong.
Well, at least you were able to get all those diagnostic testing done. I feel like certain people with certain doctors, it's like there's a protocol. It's like, okay, well, we're going to do this first. And if that doesn't work, then we're going to do this. And, like, at the very end, you get an MRI, and they're like, oh, you have brain cancer.
Yeah, no. I don't mess around. My doctor does not mess around. The minute I bring her something, I think the reason why she's very quick and she moves quickly is because usually when I go in feeling something and I tell her, I think I have this, and we check, I'm usually almost always right. It's so weird because I listen to my body.
Same.
Like, if I feel like crap, I don't just wait around. Before I did, and then I started having all these issues, fucking kidney stones, all this. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm done ignoring my body. I'm done ignoring, like, the symptoms or if I'm feeling like crap. I'm just getting older, and as you get older and you wait it off, it gets worse, and then all of a sudden you're losing limbs and shit.
I'm the same way. I go in prepared to those appointments for myself or for my kids, and I'm like, look, this is what I think it is. This is what I want them to be tested for.
Yep, that's what I do.
Okay, sure,
yeah.
no problem.
Yeah, because before I would just go in and tell them, and they're just like, oh, here's some medication, brush it off, and go home.
Give them some Motrin.
Yeah, no. I'm like, especially if it's something that's been going on for a while, no, I need to get tested, and I need to know what is going on. So, yeah, my doctor, she works very quickly whenever. Sometimes she even gives me extra testing that I don't even need. She'll be like, you know what, we'll send you in for a CAT scan and an ultrasound and, just to override anything. And I love it. Like, usually there's doctors that would be like, oh, you're just a hypochondriac, whatever, and you don't have that. You don't have that. But even if, like, I suggested, like, I think it could be this or something, she's like, you know what? To ease your mind, I'm going to send you in for a ultrasound so you can get it checked out and see.
I used to get that too because I've had the joint pain that I get since I was 4. Yeah. And it was like, oh, it's growing pains. And it's like, no. Eventually, I'm like, I want to be tested for rheumatoid arthritis. Test me for lupus. Take an x-ray. Make sure my hips are aligned. Like, I want to find out. Until this day, I don't know. They said, oh, could be like fibromyalgia or something like that. But to me, fibromyalgia is
4, though.
Right.
I remember one time I watched a show and I saw this lady that had the same issues as you, and she was a swimmer. I forgot what it was called. Eventually, they figured out what it was.
Yeah.
And it has to do with the cartilage in her knee. I forgot what it is, but it has to do with that. But and it's like rubbing.
It's not just my knee. Sometimes it's my joint, it's my elbows, it's my groin, it's my hips, it's my knees, and the pain radiates. If you touch my skin, you can feel that it's hot. So that
does sound like fibromyalgia.
I mean, it could be. I'm thinking
or arthritis.
I was checked for rheumatoid arthritis.
And
nothing. But they did tell me that maybe you need to be gluten-free, refined sugar, dairy-free. Okay, that's
what they said to me.
I get that, but like sometimes life happens, and not everything and everywhere you go is gluten-free and dairy-free and refined sugar-free.
Yeah.
But I did notice that when I was doing that, I had less inflammation.
Yeah. I've been learning to stay away from like inflammatory foods or ingredients. Things that I didn't even think would cause inflammation causes inflammation. So I'm like, geez, there's just so much now that they put into foods. And now they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to take away the red 40 and stuff. But that's not for another, 3 to 7 years. So.
And then I wonder if it takes 3 to 7 years to leave your body. Like, that just sticks to you.
Well, yeah. But what pisses me off is it'll take them 3 to 7 years, right, to pull that out of ingredients. But if there's something wrong with something, they quickly do a recall and everything's pulled off the shelves.
When there's, an immediate danger.
Red 40?
Red dye 40 could take years before it affects you.
I'm sorry, but to me, it's a danger.
It is.
And
we shouldn't be eating it.
No.
I 100% agree. Just like high fructose corn syrup.
I agree. That's why so many people of our generation have so many issues. That's probably why we have all these joint pains and all this other shit.
ADHD.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Well, I grew up with ADD, so all the shit that I ate, McDonald's all the time.
Me too. I used to love Chinese. How much MSG is probably how much MSG did I consume that I wasn't even aware of?
You know what? MSG is good though. It just makes food taste so much better.
Hydrogenated oils. Now we have all this bioengineered shit.
It tastes so good. Like I feel like when you try the difference of the food without the MSG and with, different. It's different and it tastes so much better. I'm sorry, but it does. It does.
I don't know. I've never did a taste test side by side, so.
Well, if you try to make something at home and you cook it, it doesn't taste the same. Now go and buy a little bit of MSG powder and, in there. And I'm telling you, you're like, damn, this shit good.
No, I'll stay away from it. It'll still be good.
So, summer's coming. Well, it's like what?
Right
2 weeks
around
away?
the corner.
2 weeks away?
Yeah. And
I've been trying to think of things to do with my kids because, obviously the age difference is humongous.
Mm-hmm.
And my oldest, I mean, he's barely ever home. He don't care to hang out with us anymore.
He's like an adult now.
We're not cool.
He's doing his own thing.
Yeah, he's doing his own thing, and I can't get mad at him because he's 19. He's living. You know, enjoy life, enjoy yourself. Like, I'm not gonna get mad at him because he's living.
Right.
So technically, I would say I just need something to do with my 15 and 6-year-old. I know that you could do the zoo, you can do
the beach.
I don't know. I definitely want to do the beach. I want to be a beach bum.
I feel like beach doesn't matter what age you are. It's relaxed. There's some people that absolutely hate the beach. There was somebody I was talking to. Was it Dad?
He hates the beach. He
only
goes because we want to go, but he hates it.
I was talking to somebody. They're like, no, ew, the sand. It's all over the place. It's on your. You can't get the sand off. It's in your car, and it's hot. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, Dad doesn't like it. He's like, ugh. He's like, just sitting around. The sun is hot, and
see, but you go prepared. You go with your umbrellas and your tents. Like if somebody wants to take a nap and get their whole body out of the sun.
Well, that's why I do it, because he always complains. So I'm like, well, you have choices. You have the chair with the umbrella, or you can sit in the little, pop-up tent that's there.
But sometimes you have to go in and get wet. There's people that go to the beach and they don't go in the water. Yes, that's miserable. You're sitting there and you're hot and you're sweaty and
I feel like I enjoy the beaches out here more, like out in New England, because it's hot, but the water is cold and it cools you off.
Instant gratification.
But when you go down south,
bath water,
it's like hot as fuck on the beach. You go in the water, it's warm. It's like, yeah, you're getting wet and you feel fine, but it's not like right after you get out the water.
It's not refreshing.
You're dying. Yeah. I'm dying just.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I don't know how people do it. And no matter what, we had an umbrella. We're sitting there under the chair, on our chairs, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm melting.
I never understood the people that I go to the beach, and, I'm a people watcher, and you'll see them, and they're laying out in the sun for like 2 hours or more. Whether they're falling asleep, like on their stomach or on their back, I'm just like, I couldn't do that. Maybe I could lay out for like 15 minutes. Maybe it's my ADHD that I got to spin like a rotisserie chicken. But like, I need to dunk in the water. I need to cool down, and then I can come back and refresh and do some more.
Yeah. Yep. Same.
And I'm always hungry at the beach, no matter what.
Yeah, me too. I'm snacking the whole time. And like my mom, she's like, damn girl, like I pack my whole house. I don't care. I'd rather have more snacks than I need or food than to just pack, like, counting, oh, there's 10 of us, I'm going to pack one for you, one for me, 2 of these for you, 2, no. I just pack a shit ton, and we're out. And let me tell you, half of the time, we do bring stuff back home, but it's barely much. No. Like, I'm just like, wow, we ate all the sandwiches. I do the hot dogs. I bring hot dogs as well. And I do bring my little alcoholic beverage because I have to. Like, there's no beach moment for a mom unless there's a little bit of something in a cup, or even if it's just like a little wine cooler, something that is like
to relax you. It's a vibe.
See, like you could bring a little Bud Light.
Oh yeah, the aluminum can. We're doing that. The one thing that I don't like about the beach is when it's so packed that you can't even figure out how to comfortably lay out a beach towel because there's people everywhere and they walk by you and they kick sand all over you.
That's why I like going to a private beach. I don't go to like those beaches where everyone be at. Like out here, everyone loves Mesquamaket. I hate that beach. I will not. You will not see me there.
No, I usually, if I go to Rhode Island, it's Charleston Beach.
Yeah. Charlestown. Yeah, we can't.
I don't mind people being at the beach.
Yeah, I don't mind it to be. Yes.
Where they're not listening to our conversation.
But the thing is that I remember one time I went to Mesquamaket with family. Everybody's like, "Oh, let's go to Mesquamaket." So we went, and there was like, all right, this is probably not a good example, but let me use this box because I gotta explain this. Like, this was how much sand there was, okay, for everyone. This is the sand.
Here's your towel.
No. And then the rest everywhere was the ocean, okay? There was so many people on here in this little patch of fucking sand. I was like, there's no way. Like, we were walking through and there was like sand flying on people. I felt horrible. And then like my family's trying to like chill by rocks. I'm like, no, absolutely not. I left. I was like, I'm not staying at this beach. I'm not.
I'm not a fan of like rocky beaches either. I feel like Mesquamaket, when you go in the water, there's too many hard rocks and pebbles, and like, I don't want to wear water shoes. Sometimes I want to go barefoot and feel the
no.
sand running through my toes.
I wear the water shoes if I'm going in. Now, if I'm just like walking the edge, then no, I won't. But like even the beach we go to, when you walk in at first, there's rocks until you pass the little rocky area.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if kids are playing and the shore, the wave comes and they get knocked down, they're getting all beat up and scratched up because of all the rocks. Yeah, no, I don't like that.
Yep. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do some beach trips. I don't know about the zoo too much. Like, I like the zoo and everything, but I feel bad for Lucas because I've been to the zoo so many times, both ones that I like, but he hasn't. So I'm like,
the Roger Williams Zoo.
Yeah, I do that one, the Southwick Zoo, and then I actually like going to the one in New York.
Yeah, the Bronx Zoo.
Yeah, I haven't been to that one in a long time.
Speaking of zoo, did you see that safari that family went to? I want to say it was New York. It was a little 2-year-old girl and the mom. Maybe it wasn't in New York. I don't know where it was. Don't listen to that part. It was okay for them to sit in the tailgate of a truck. And the little girl had a bag like this tucked in her sleeve, in her shirt. So when the giraffe came, I think it went to go grab the bag, but it grabbed the little girl's shirt and lifted the girl like 2 feet in the air before it dropped her. But like the mom was like, oh! Like at first she thought it was cute that the giraffe was coming over to like lick, but once she saw the baby catch air, she was like, wait, I gotta find out which zoo that was.
Oh my God.
2-year-old little girl.
So yeah, maybe I'll do that because the safari sounds so much fun. I don't know. I want to do something different this summer. I think ever since I feel I'm like a spoiled little brat because ever since I went down to South Carolina and I did the whole tiger encounter experience, like now I'm just like, I'm gonna watch an animal from behind the fence. No, I want to touch it. I want to see it. I want to play with it.
Texas Safari Park. That's where it was.
Oh,
you'll have to watch the video.
Okay.
The little girl was fine and she wasn't hurt, but that was a scare.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to do a safari. I think a safari would be fun. I probably will freaking freak out if an animal's very close, but I think it would be fun.
So I did a safari in San Diego like 20 years ago. But they were far away. Like, there was tons and tons of land. Like, we were in the vehicles, but it wasn't anything close.
Yeah.
You could see them, but it wasn't, like, close enough where you're kind of like, oh, my God.
Yeah. I just, like, I see videos and people, they're funny as hell. Like, people have their windows open and, like, the animals are putting their heads inside, like, the car.
I've never been to that kind of safari, like the ones that you drive in. I do want to go see the pandas. Where are they at? They have a few.
China.
No, there's 2 that just came to the United States into a zoo. 2 pandas.
Oh, well, I need to go see the pandas because in my household, we love some pandas. Lucas just did his project on pandas. I learned a lot about pandas, actually. Things that I didn't know. Did you know that a group of pandas together is called an embarrassment?
Why? I thought you were going to call it pandis.
No, it's called an embarrassment because they're loners. They don't like to be, like, together. They like to be alone. Like, even when, like, you know, they do their thing and make a baby, like, the dad is a deadbeat. Like, he's like, all right, peace out. There's like a booty call, and then he's out. And she's like, peace to the Middle East. I'll see you later. And then, you know, she gives birth. And I guess, like, they end up, like, raising the baby for a little bit, but then they abandon the baby as well because they like to be alone. They don't like, they're like loners. They don't like no one.
They just want to worry about themselves.
Yeah.
They're like, here, have this kid to the zoo. I'm all set.
And I also learned that their bodies are made to eat meat, but they don't eat meat. So they're eating like bamboo all day long. But because they're not getting all the nutrients they need. But yeah, because they're not getting all the nutrients that they need. So that's what they have to eat so much of it.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, what? I'm like, that's crazy that they don't eat meat. But yet they're like chunky and stuff.
Yeah. These 2, Bao Li and King Bao, they're 2 of them that came. And they're at the Smithsonian National Zoo, wherever that is.
Smithsonian?
Yeah,
I wonder where that is.
That's what I'm looking up.
Huh.
But I know you like pandas, and I was excited to tell you.
Oh my God. Yeah, I have to figure that out because I love me some pandas. But yeah, I love me some pandas. And I want to own a monkey one day. I've been saying this for so long. I actually want a pygmy marmoset. Always wanted that type of monkey. I don't care about a chimp or all those other ones. They're cute and everything to like and funny. But I've always wanted a pygmy marmoset.
Those little monkeys are so cute. Like even when you go to the zoo and you just see their tiny little faces and their little eyes. But I'm assuming if somebody has a monkey, you have to have like some type of outdoor habitat because they do smell.
Yeah,
Like
well,
their pee.
I follow like this person and she has two. I don't know what kind they are, but they're like the smaller ones. They're like small. They're like the ones that you see that look like old people where like, they brush their little.
Yeah.
They're cute, but hers are babies and she
Aw.
has them indoors. She changes their diaper. They wear diapers.
Oh, diapers. There you go. That would
Yeah.
help. Dad's home. I can hear him coughing.
So yeah, I definitely am gonna bother Nelson about it. So now I found out that the zoo is actually in Washington D.C. So Nelson, get ready, porque vamos pa Washington.
Yep. And she's gonna do the panda encounter too. So you better be ready.
Better be ready, cause I'm gonna be taking pictures. That Panda's gonna be on my lap instead, cause it's gonna be bigger than me.
The zookeeper's like, ma'am, please let go of the panda, ma'am.
I'm taking it home. Oh my god. I love that.
I love animals too. The one thing that I would do is swim with dolphins that I've always wanted to do.
Me too, but I'm kind of scared.
I know. I saw like a horror video the other day where like a dolphin. I don't know if it bit somebody or I can't remember. It was like a while ago that it was.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm like scared of like the dolphins. But I feel like anything that's underwater kind of freaks me out a little
their
bit.
personality is so like dog-like and human-like with those dolphins. They're so freaking smart and cute. I want to see one.
I would like to see one and like pet it, but I don't know. I guess that would be one of my fears. And the reason why I have that fear actually going into that is when I was younger, when I was little, I was probably like 1 year old. I drowned. I drowned in a bucket.
A commercial mop bucket.
Commercial mop bucket. So it's like the big yellow buckets that you would see people cleaning like buildings, stores, whatever it may be. I fell in head first and my legs were in the air and I drowned. By the time they found me, I was pretty much purple. So I definitely had a near-death experience. Actually, we both have. It's crazy. And we're sisters, and we come from the same mister.
Right.
So the fact that we both have...
But it was both the mothers that this happened to.
Yeah. Yep. Luckily, my dad was home, but when they found me. But yeah, it's like, it's crazy how like 1 minute you're like doing something, you don't hear your toddler, and you know, anything can happen. But yeah, my dad is the one who resuscitated me and he brought me back to life. So I'm here today because of him. And I'm very thankful for that. But I feel like I have a lot of fears with water. Makes sense. I think it's because of that. Like,
it makes sense. And I have a lot of fears with heights. And let me tell you my near-death experience.
Yeah.
I think I was 2 months old and I was being carried in a car seat. And my mother and my father at the time, they lived in an apartment in Westfield on the first floor. My mom had groceries in one hand and she had me in the other. She decided to balance me on a railing for whatever reason. And I fell with the car seat, but I pierced the roof of my mouth with some...
the bushes, but it was like pre-cut. Cut. So the stumps. There
was some stumps from bushes. So when I fell, even though I was still strapped into the car seat, I was pierced on the roof of my mouth, in which they had to like pack with Novocaine. I mean, so it explains a lot.
So she had a taste of drugs. She don't be doing liquor, but she done drugs and shit.
You know, I hit that Novocaine hard at 2 months old. You know what I'm saying? I still get the shakes. So anyways, my dad was there. He was very upset. I remember my mom always saying, if something happens to my daughter.
Ooh. Yeah. So the fact that he went through two like crazy things with both daughters, like what the hell?
Right. His son was fine. Nothing ever happened to him, but like something fell in his eye and he had to get it flushed out in the ER.
Yeah.
You know?
Like what the hell? That's why we're so special.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, have you guys ever had a near-death experience? Not that I remember because I was 2 months old. It's just what I've been told, and I'm sure you don't remember either.
I don't remember. But I do remember, if I don't know if it was a dream or what it was, but I do remember like it was like the supposed heaven. Like it was so weird, but it wasn't heaven. It's not like I met the pearly gates and all
Mm-hmm.
this stuff. But I do remember seeing group like, and it's so weird that I remember this because you don't remember things from when you're one.
Mm-hmm.
But I could hear people. There was people crying, and there was people like grouped in different sections and crying. And I just remember that I was hiding behind like this rock or something because I didn't want to go with a person that looks like Jesus.
Mm.
Like everyone in there were wearing like these sandals. It's so freaking weird that I talk about this. I've even told my mom about it because when I got a little older, then I told her about it. Obviously, when I could talk, I was like, "Yeah, I had a dream. To me, it was a dream. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know." And I remember I told her about it when I was probably like 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I would ask, I'm like, "Oh, who's that guy?" And she's like, "Oh, that's Jesus."
Oh. I
Um,
hear a lot about people having their life flash before their
yeah,
eyes. And I have heard of those shows that you see that people. This one woman was rafting, and somehow there was an accident, and she was underwater for 15 minutes.
wow,
When she resurfaced and they brought her back, it was like a miracle. Like 15 minutes, you would expect her to be brain
brain
dead.
dead.
And she said she had that experience where she saw like heaven and all that stuff.
Hmm.
But I'm curious if anybody's ever had like a near death experience and you were
Yeah,
old enough for your brain to go through that process, like tell us about it. We would definitely like to know because
yeah.
I believe for you that might have been a dream, but I believe it was what your soul and your brain was seeing at that point.
Yeah. Well, I do a lot of research of like different things, and I remember seeing a research thing of like a doctor that actually can see, he's done testing to see like what people see when they're dying.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So pretty much he says that what people see, it's all like what you believe. So like there's some like children, there's been kids that pass on and be when they're having their flashbacks of like because you go through flashbacks of your life.
Mm-hmm.
um their last thing is usually they meet up with a superhero,
Hmm.
or like a person would be like what they think God is looks like,
Yeah.
and whatever. So I think it's just my mom wasn't like heavily into you know the religion stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
she always had a Bible. She always had like his photo. She
Mm-hmm.
would pray, stuff like that.
Typical Rican mom.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's because I always saw that around and that's why I saw that. But
Mm-hmm.
like, do I remember like now if I think about it, like what I thought Jesus looked like then? No. But I do remember, always remember is the sandals. It's so weird, but I remember the sandals.
So when I die, if I see sandals, I know I'm in a good place. I'm like, yes, it's the Jesus sandals. Before I had my CPAP machine, and I would like stop breathing for like, I don't even know, for how long I stopped breathing. I remember this one time vividly that I felt like my brain was like electricity, like it was almost short circuiting, but it was short circuiting with black and white images of my life that I've experienced already.
Wow.
And then I remember waking up and just going, like, so
Yeah, yeah.
I'm wondering if I stopped breathing to the point where like I was almost too far gone.
Maybe.
I don't know. And I've also heard on these shows that a lot of times people are in the emergency room and they're out of their body and they can see everything that's going on. They can
I've
see
heard
the
of that.
surgeons.
Mm-hmm.
They can see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then when they make it and they wake up and they tell the surgeons, I saw this, I saw that, they're like, what? Like how?
Yeah, yeah. I've seen that too. I've heard of it and I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just thinking about everything, because I don't know if you follow online with a lot of things where they talk about like everything's like AI, we live in a simulation, blah blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah. I was thinking the other day, I don't know why this like popped in my head. I swear, if I was a pothead and I smoked, I would probably come up with the weirdest things. Like people would look at me like, "Wow, she might." But I started thinking, like, could men be AI because they all are the same?
Why do you think they're all the same?
Not all the same in like, oh, they. It's almost like the way they're programmed. I swear.
I mean, I definitely don't think that they're all the same, but they might say the same thing about us. But, oh, God, you women are all the same. You all
No.
get your periods.
No.
You bleed for a week and you still survive. Like, how is that possible?
No. I don't mean same like the way they act is just like the things that all women complain about the same thing about men, right? And then what is it one thing that all men want or what they need? Yes.
Yeah, but that's
all of them. But all of them. There's not one that would never say, "Nah, I don't want that."
Well, I'm
shit.
sure there's some that are some that could be like, what is it, asexual or pansexual?
Or when they be like, "What does everybody want?" Head. They all want that, right?
And women's answer is different. Like, what do women want? Well, we want affection.
Yes.
We want chickens.
Yes.
We want a dog.
Ask a man what he wants, and the first thing on his list is gonna be head. No lie.
Try that right
no
now.
Lie.
Turn to your partner and your spouse or your husband and say, "Honey, what do men want? What do you want?"
Now, usually that's if it still goes up. Now, if it doesn't anymore, obviously, then now they're just programmed to like, I just want like to go fishing or do their hobby or whatever it is that they like, golfing. That's all they want. They don't want to be bothered. Men don't want to be bothered.
So now we need to take a survey.
Men are AI.
Can you imagine, honey? What is it that you want? They're like,
all of a sudden,
to go to Cabela's. I'm like, oh, that wasn't what I was expecting.
All of a sudden, the guy starts glitching
and
like,
short-circuiting.
But it's funny that I started thinking of that because I'm like, you know what? It's weird. All men say the same answer. They all want that one specific thing. It's not always sex. It's like they would prefer head over sex.
It sounds like you were going to say head over heels. Wait, I'll get it. I get it. Women prefer to be head over heels and men just prefer head over sex.
Like, for us, we think we're so simple. Like, oh, we just want to be, like, cuddled and pampered and whatever. No, my list goes on, baby. Their list is just that. Simple. Their list is so simple.
I do believe that men are less complicated than women.
Why is that?
Maybe we're AI.
No.
Who bleeds for a whole week and survives like we do?
Dogs?
No, but they're females. But they're females.
I don't know. How long does an elephant get their period for?
Oh,
do they get their period?
I wouldn't want to know what that looks like.
Because I know they carry a baby for like 2 years.
No, 7. Am I making that up?
No, you're making shit up. 7 years, girl. If oh no, 7 years. That baby comes out fucking huge.
That's why the baby come out walking.
It's 2 years. There's no way it could be 7. She's crazy. 7.
I just probably heard that somewhere and ran with it.
7 years. Can you imagine us carrying a baby for 2 years?
Oh my God, that's terrible.
How huge we would be.
Yeah, 18 to 22 months.
7 years. Where the hell you get that number from?
I don't know. Maybe when I short-circuited. It was my internal Hey Siri giving me the wrong facts.
I'm just talking like out of my ass. I don't know if men are AI. I just started thinking about that the other day because I'm like, you know what's weird? I'm like, men are all the same. They're not the same. Like, it's hard to explain what I mean. They're not the same as they don't look the same. They don't act the same. But they all, like, what they want is very simple. They just don't want to be bothered, and they just want
yeah. But I feel like we are more
in a comfortable bed. I mean, even Drake says it.
What does he say?
He wants head in a comfortable bed.
Oh. Never heard it, but okay.
Do you love when you can shop a site and it's like a one-stop shop? Then, sweetie, you need to check out Troubled Beauty Unlimited. There are so many options. I can't even tell you what's my favorite since I love it all. From their beautiful press-on nails that are handmade and reusable. Yes, you heard that right, reusable. You can also find jewelry that's affordable and worth buying. And if you are into those DIY at home lash extensions, then baby, look no further. Go check this small Latina owned business out at www.troubledbeautyunltd.bigcartel.com. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. Did you finish telling them your story? Because I feel like we kind of...
I did.
You did?
I
I wasn't sure if I cut you off.
Yeah, no, they just packed me with Novocaine, and here I am. Here I am.
Well, I didn't get Novocaine. I just sat in a hospital forever with fucking needles all over the place.
You just got Pine Sol and water.
Well, they had to get all that out of my system.
Yeah, I'm sure they had to pump you with, I don't even know, carbon?
Peroxide.
Something.
They had a fucking induced vomiting and shit. It was bad because I did ingest like bleach, less oil.
I can imagine all the nurses around my little bassinet give me an intervention after all that.
So we both had some kind of
traumatic, near
toxic
death.
Something in our system.
We could have been dead, and we're here. So
yeah, we're here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, also, I want to talk about how we told everyone to leave us like stories on our little anonymous
funny stories.
little link. And I keep getting this one person that just keeps leaving random messages of like in questions. Like, we didn't ask for questions. We were asking about stories because we would love to like read people's like any little funny story or an embarrassing moment.
Yeah, we want a good laugh.
That is funny now to you. Like, it would be awesome for someone to like, you know, write that for us to read and to laugh about it here and share with other people, you know?
For sure.
Because sometimes people do need a laugh. People need a good time. And why not with a funny story?
Right. I was prepared to bring my asthma pump in case I went into like a laughing fit.
Right. So we're going to try this again.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm going to put the link down in this video in the little description section. And you can just go straight from there and leave us the anonymous. It's completely anonymous. No one's going to know who you are. It doesn't tell us a name. It doesn't show us your picture. It doesn't show us anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like who leaves a message. So yeah, share some stories with us. We're going to be doing, for this whole week, we're going to take in everyone's story and then we can post it into our next episode. Because I think that would be a lot of fun. We did it for her birthday episode and oh my God.
It was a hit.
We had so much fun.
That was the best time.
But those were different. Those were actually confessions.
Yeah, but some of them were still funny.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is they were actual confessions and people like, you know, people put up confessions and it was pretty cool to have people participating in it. So I know funny stories is a little harder. Is no one funny anymore?
I mean, embarrassing moments. There's so many embarrassing moments.
Yeah, so just tell us like an embarrassing moment because I feel like a funny story, a lot of people are probably like, oh, nothing funny has ever happened to me.
Right. And if you don't, then I'm just going to bring in a bunch of embarrassing moments that happened to me and you're just going to have to laugh about it. Yeah.
Same. Because I have a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Also, with Father's Day coming around, what are like gifts you guys are thinking of getting your like significant other for Father's Day if they are a dad, obviously?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, give me some ideas.
Yeah.
Because I need some ideas. I ran out of ideas.
So last minute we can grab some stuff.
Yeah, so that I can go last minute shopping.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that be. But
that's a wrap for episode 17.
That's a wrap for episode 17. We thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys are having a great day if you're listening and a great night for those of you watching. And we will see you in the next episode.
Adios, amigos.